This is Jonathan Cahn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. When you look at what's happening in the world, it's easy to wonder what's going on, and are things out of control? Is this what the Bible foretold? Is the end near? What do I need to know about the future? Where's it all going? How can I be prepared? What is God's prophetic word for the hour and for me? On this channel, you're going to find prophetic updates, the mysteries of God, daily words for life, biblical revelation, prophetic teachings, and much more. I pray it's going to be a great blessing to you in the days ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time there's a new video that's posted. Leave a comment as to how God is blessing you. And don't forget to share these videos with friends who need to hear them. Thanks again, and God bless you. Shalom.
July 15th, 2025 is not just a square on the calendar or a number we scroll past in our daily routine. It is not just the midpoint of another ordinary month. It is not just another Tuesday to be filled with noise, errands, emails, and appointments. It is more than that, far more. This date is not a coincidence. It's a divine marker. Heaven has etched this moment in the spiritual fabric of time. It is a threshold, an invisible line in the Spirit that divides what was from what will be. You are not standing in just another moment. You are standing on holy ground on the edge of a shift at the border of a spiritual transition that will redefine how you walk, what you carry, and where you're going. In the natural, everything might appear the same. The sun may rise like it always does. The world will continue spinning. People will wake up and go about their usual lives. But in the unseen realm, in the places where God speaks, where angels move, where the war for destinies is fought, something will break open. Something will be released. Something will be shifted. Not everyone will notice. Not everyone will discern it. But those who are spiritually awake will feel it like a wind in the soul, a weight in the air, a voice behind the veil saying, "This is the way, walk in it." This date is not meant to be feared. It is meant to be respected. It is not about dread. It's about decision. It is not about panic. It is about posture, because what God is doing on this day is not random. It is precise. He is realigning what's been crooked. He is exposing what's been hidden. He is elevating those who have been faithful in the dark. And He is disrupting what has become too comfortable for those who were never meant to settle. July 15th is a spiritual collision point between heaven's timeline and man's assumptions. And when that kind of convergence takes place, everything changes. There are moments in biblical history where days became doorways. When Saul became Paul on the road to Damascus, it was a day like any other until everything changed. When Moses turned aside to see a burning bush, it was an ordinary afternoon until he encountered God and was given a lifelong calling. When the Holy Spirit fell on Pentecost, it was the 50th day of the feast, a day with tradition and schedule, but heaven interrupted and history was never the same. July 15th, 2025 will carry that same energy for those who are watching, listening, and ready to move. You cannot afford to be spiritually asleep in this hour. There are things God wants to download into your spirit, assignments, strategies, answers, clarity, healing, positioning, but He will not shout over your distractions. He will whisper, and only those who have stilled themselves in prayer, in worship, in consecration will hear it. There is a sound in the Spirit reserved for the seekers, and it will be loudest on the day the shift occurs. But you have to tune your ear now. Because what happens on July 15th is not the beginning of awareness. It is the fruit of preparation. Those who have been preparing in secret will see reward in public. Those who have been repenting in private will receive favor in places they never expected. Heaven is about to place weight on the scale, and it won't be the weight of popularity, personality, or performance. It will be the weight of purity, obedience, and alignment. July 15th is a threshold, and a threshold demands one thing: decision. Will you stay in the old, or will you step into the new? Will you cling to what was comfortable, or will you surrender to what is divine? The opportunity is there, but the choice is yours. This is not a moment to hesitate. Hesitation in the spirit can cost you momentum in the natural. What you delay in obedience now may delay your destiny later. This is not the hour to think twice. This is the hour to move in faith. Realignment is coming to every area. Relationships that no longer serve your calling will begin to fall away. Plans that looked perfect in your eyes may begin to unravel. Systems that once felt secure will begin to feel shaky. But don't misinterpret that. It's not the enemy causing confusion. It's God removing the scaffolding of your self-made security. He's not trying to break you. He's trying to build you. But in order to build something new, He must tear down what no longer fits the blueprint of your future. This moment also carries exposure. God is lifting the curtain on things that have been hidden for far too long. Lies, compromise, pride, false foundations. What has been in the dark will be brought into the light. But this exposure is not for shame, it's for freedom. He is not revealing to destroy you, He is revealing to heal you. He is not exposing to punish, He is exposing to protect. Because what you refuse to confront now will confront you later in a more painful way. July 15th will be a line in the sand, a day when God says, no more pretending, no more covering, no more delay. Choose this day whom you will serve. For those who are surrendered, this day will be a spiritual elevation. Doors that have been locked for years will suddenly swing open. Platforms that you didn't chase will begin to find you. Promises that you've carried like fire in your bones will begin to manifest. Not because you forced them, but because you were faithful when no one was watching. This is a reward for the secret sacrifices, for the quiet obedience, for the prayers prayed when your heart was breaking, for the tears that watered seeds no one else could see. God saw. And now the time of release is here. Elevation in the kingdom is never about spotlight, it's about stewardship. And on July 15th, mantles will fall on those who have proven they can carry the weight of the glory without making it about themselves. There is a fresh oil being released, but it's not for everyone. It's for the ones who stayed when it was hard, the ones who kept worshiping in the wilderness, the ones who passed the test of the hidden place. God is not looking for the flashy, He's looking for the faithful. But for some, this day will bring disruption, not because God is cruel, but because they have refused to shift. God has been speaking, He's been warning, He's been whispering, but pride has drowned out His voice. July 15th will bring a shaking to everything built on ego, manipulation, compromise, and spiritual laziness. Ministries, relationships, agendas, and empires built on sand will begin to crack. Because God is no longer winking at disobedience. He is shaking what can be shaken, so that only what is eternal will remain. The kingdom of God is advancing, and anything that is not aligned with His purpose will either move out of the way or be moved out of the way. That's the power of a divine threshold. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't check with comfort. It simply arrives and demands a response. The weight of this day cannot be carried casually. It requires sobriety in the spirit. It requires a clean heart, a quiet mind, and a posture of surrender. If you've been sensing that something is coming, that something is shifting, that you are being pulled out of old cycles and into unfamiliar places, it's because heaven has been preparing you for this moment. The warfare has been heavy because the assignment is weighty. The pressure has increased because the promise is near. July 15th is not just an event. It's a fulfillment of prayers, of prophecies, of divine timing. Do not be discouraged if others don't understand. This is not a collective invitation. It's a personal one. God is not calling the crowd. He's calling the remnant. The ones who are willing to follow when the path is unclear. The ones who will still say yes, even when it costs them comfort. The ones who are more concerned with obedience than applause. If you feel this in your spirit, it's because you're one of them. And your assignment is not small. Between now and July 15th, your preparation matters more than ever. What you cut off, what you lean into, what you prioritize, it all counts. God is watching how you manage this space between awareness and arrival. This is your prelude, your setup, your consecration. Don't waste it. Don't ignore it. Don't sleep through it. Treat every day like it's sacred, because it is. Everything will not change for everyone, but everything can change for those who respond. This is your moment. This is your threshold. This is the day heaven wrote into your story long before you were born. What you do with it will echo into eternity. Don't step over it blindly. Step into it boldly, because on July 15th, 2025, the page will turn, the atmosphere will shift, and those who are ready will rise. You were born for this moment. And this moment has been waiting for you. July 15th is not simply a date to be marked. It is a divine unveiling, a spiritual moment when the hidden things will be brought into the light. The weight of this moment has been building quietly over weeks, months, and even years. While the world may be unaware, going about its routine, something far deeper is stirring in the realm of the Spirit. This is a time that has been preordained, etched into God's timeline as a turning point for those whose hearts have been seeking, for those whose destinies have been waiting, and for those whose lives are aligned with a higher purpose. It is not a moment of randomness, it is a moment of revelation. On this day, veils will be lifted. Not just veils over nations or leaders, but veils over individual lives, hearts, minds, and callings. Things you didn't understand will suddenly begin to make sense. The unanswered questions, the long seasons of silence, the dark nights of the soul, they will be illuminated not because your intellect has grown, but because God has chosen to reveal what was hidden. There are times when we seek clarity and find none because the timing is not yet ripe. But this moment carries with it the fragrance of divine timing. It is the appointed hour for eyes to be opened and truth to be known. There are things in your life, both seen and unseen, that are about to be uncovered. Some of those things are beautiful. The seeds of faith you planted long ago that seem forgotten. The quiet prayers you whispered when no one saw. The acts of obedience that felt small but shook the heavens. These things have been hidden, but they've never been lost. They've been growing beneath the surface, waiting for their appointed time. And now heaven is about to bring them to light. This is the season of emergence, where what was sown in secret will be rewarded openly. The assignments that have been on hold, the doors that have remained shut, the favor that's felt delayed, all of it is about to be released for those who are ready. But not all revelation feels comfortable. God will also uncover the hidden compromises, the double-mindedness, the pride that's been cloaked in religious language, the unforgiveness we've hidden behind ministry, the wounds we've refused to confront. Why? Because He loves us too much to let us carry those things into the next dimension of our destiny. Exposure is not always about punishment. It is often about protection. God is not trying to shame us. He's trying to free us, because what we don't allow Him to deal with now will sabotage us later. The higher you go in your calling, the heavier the weight, and God will not elevate someone into a space their character cannot sustain. This is a day of dividing lines. Some will be exalted, others will be exposed. Those who've walked in humility will be lifted. Those who've relied on performance will be stripped. Those who've honored God in the private place will be honored in the public one. And those who've manipulated the platform for self-gain will find it suddenly removed. This is not to instill fear. It is to stir reverence, because God is holy, and when He moves like this, He is not playing games. He is setting things in order. Destinies will be activated on this day. That word, destiny, is not light. It is not about fame or fortune. It is about assignment, about impact, about eternal purpose. Many of you have felt the stirring for years. You've known deep down that your life is meant for more. You've sensed that you carry something unique, something weighty, something not yet released, and you've wondered when your moment would come. God says now. This is the moment where what was dormant is awakened, where what was delayed is released, where what was brewing in your spirit is birthed into reality. But here is the sobering truth. Not every destiny will be activated. Only those who are prepared, positioned, and purified will walk through this gate. The choices made leading up to this day matter. The decisions to obey when no one was watching. The times you forgave when it was easier to hold a grudge. The times you worshiped through tears, fasted in silence, prayed when you were exhausted. Heaven took notice. Your faith was recorded. And now that faith is being matched with movement. There are people who will look back on this day with tears of joy because it marked the beginning of everything changing. And there are others who will look back with regret, realizing they were too distracted, too casual, too self-reliant to respond when the invitation came. That's why what you do right now, before the unveiling, is crucial. This is the time to surrender everything. Every weight, every hidden thing, every fear, every unfinished yes you've been delaying. God is not asking for perfection. He's asking for permission to move fully in your life, to take His rightful place as Lord over every part of you. On this day, clarity will come like a flood. You won't have to guess what to do next. You'll know. There will be a peace that surpasses understanding, a confidence that cannot be explained. That's the fruit of revelation. God is not the author of confusion. When He lifts the veil, it's not chaos, it's clarity. But only those who have ears to hear and hearts to obey will recognize what He's saying. That's why your spiritual sensitivity matters now more than ever. You have to be able to discern the difference between your voice, the enemy's voice, and God's voice, because one whisper from heaven can reroute your entire life. Heaven is releasing blueprints, instructions, assignments. And some of these assignments are bigger than anything you've imagined. They will take courage. They will require sacrifice. They will stretch you, but they will also fulfill you in ways you never dreamed. Because when you walk in what you were born to do, you stop striving and start soaring. You stop comparing and start creating. You stop surviving and start living. There will also be divine connections released on this day. Relationships that align with your next season. People who carry the missing piece to your purpose, mentors, partners, destiny helpers, and also necessary separations. God is not just adding, He's subtracting. Not everyone can go with you. Not every voice is meant to speak into your future. Some ties must be cut for your vision to be clear. Don't fear the loss. Honor what was, but don't hold on to what God is pruning. This unveiling will touch every area: family, finances, calling, health, ministry, business. Nothing will be untouched, because God is not a God of compartments. He is after your whole life. He wants alignment across the board. What good is a public breakthrough if your private life is in bondage? What good is a platform if your soul is dry? God is not in the business of temporary success. He builds legacies. He raises up people who last. And that kind of lasting impact starts with holy surrender. If you feel fear rising, silence it with truth. This is not a day to dread, it's a day to desire. Because what's coming is for your good. Even the hard parts, even the pruning, even the stretching, it's all preparation for something greater. God is not just trying to bless you, He's trying to make you into a blessing. He's raising up voices that will speak life. He's awakening warriors who will tear down strongholds. He's positioning His people to carry light into the darkest places. You are not small. Your life is not random. And this moment is not empty. It is holy. It is appointed. And it is here. So prepare your heart. Clean out the clutter. Forgive who you need to forgive. Close the doors you were never meant to open. Step away from the noise. Draw near to the voice. Spend time in His presence, not just asking for things, but listening. Worship without agenda. Pray with tears. Fast with focus. Because when this veil lifts, you don't want to be found unready. You want to be found faithful. The world will keep spinning on July 15th, but the Spirit will not remain still. He will move like wind through the lives of the willing. He will stir up gifts long buried. He will shine light into places you didn't even know were dark. And He will say, now, it's time. Don't miss your moment. Don't miss your assignment. Don't miss your unveiling. You have been warned. You have been chosen. And now your destiny is about to be activated.